Hello friends, let us continue with share capital, right? Now we have been discussing about oversubscription of shares, right? Let's have a quick recap of what we have done in oversubscription of shares. Now, when is the oversubscription of shares? When the applications received are more than shares issued, right? This is the case when we say there is an oversubscription of shares when the applications received by the company is greater than the number of shares issued, right? That means you issued 50,000 shares and you received applications for 70,000 shares. So this is a case of oversubscription. Now, as I told you, along with the applications, we receive application money. So we received application money on the excess shares of 20,000. How to deal with the excess application money? There were three methods. First is reject and refund. That is, reject excess applications and refund the excess application money that is received. Second was partial or pro rata allotment, right? In this case, in case of pro rata allotment, we do not reject applications. What we do is we partially allot shares according to the number of shares applied. So if you applied for 70,000 shares, you are allotted 50,000 shares. That means for every 7 shares applied, you are allotted 5 shares. Clear? For every 7 shares applied, you are allotted 5 shares. This is how you are going to read this. Clear? So this is how we studied pro rata allotment, and in this case the excess application money is adjusted towards allotment. Excess money adjusted towards allotment, right? Now, what was the third case? Third case was the combination of 1 and 2. That is, to some applicants we allot shares on the pro rata basis, and to some applicants we reject their applications and refund the application money. So third case was a combination of 1 and 2. Clear? Then we did a topic of, it was case 3 and category of persons, right? It was that you are allotting shares on the pro rata basis, right? And from that particular category, a person fails to pay the allotment money. Now, how to calculate that? We studied in the last lecture, right? So in all this, if you get a question on pro rata allotment, just remember a few things, either case 2 or case 3. Remember basically the steps. What should be your step 1? Step 1 should be calculation of excess application money paid, right? Calculation of excess application money paid. This you know how to calculate. Shares applied, right, minus shares allotted. Clear? So this comes as excess application And on this excess applications, you have paid excess application money. Right? Clear? So if I say this as A, this is A multiplied by application call. Clear? So your first step will be the calculation of excess application money paid, that is to be adjusted towards allotment. That means this excess application money will be adjusted towards allotment. Right? This should be the very first step. What should be the second step? Step 2, it should be calculation of allotment money received. Calculation of allotment money received. For this you will say allotment money due, right, minus excess application money adjusted, right? We will adjust the excess application money. So this is the allotment money that is receivable. Whether it is received or not, that will depend upon the question. How it is given in the question, whether the allotment money has been received in full or not, that will be depending upon the question, right? So this is all about oversubscription of shares in short. Clear? We have done this everything in detail in the previous lectures. Clear? This was just a nutshell of everything. Now, our next topic is, after oversubscription, our next topic is undersubscription. Now, after oversubscription comes the undersubscription. As you can identify from the name, it will be just the opposite of oversubscription. That means you issued 20,000 shares, right? Payable as 4 on application, 3 on allotment, and 3 on first call. So this is how you called for money. 4 on application, 3 on allotment, and 3 on final call. You issued 20,000 shares, but you received applications for only 15,000 rupees. You issued 20,000 rupees, but 20,000 shares payable as 4 on application, 3 on allotment, and 3 on first call, but you received applications only for 15,000 rupees. This is a case of undersubscription, when the shares issued is greater than applications received, right? That means shares issued is greater than applications received. This is what we know as undersubscription. We issued 20,000 shares, we received applications for 15,000 shares. Now can you tell me what will be the application money that would have been received? The applications were received for 15,000 shares, then the application money will be received on 15,000 shares only, not 20,000 shares. Because we received applications for 15,000 shares only, so application money will be paid on whatever applications are received. What will be the journal entry for this? Bank account debit to share application account. how much? 15,000 are the shares applied for, multiplied by 4, 60,000 and 60,000. Clear? You received applications for 15,000 shares, then you must have received the application money on 15,000 shares only and not 20,000 shares, right? Now at the time of allotment, you will transfer this application money. You allotted all the 15,000 shares. You received applications for 15,000 shares and you allotted all the 15,000 shares. Then you will transfer this amount to share capital account, that is 60,000 and 60,000. Now you allotted 15,000 shares. What will be the entry for share allotment? Share allotment account debit to share capital. This is the amount that is due at the time of allotment. Now, how many shares are allotted? 15,000 multiplied by 3, that is the allotment money, 45,000. Right? Say we have received the allotment money, then the journal entry will be bank account debit to share allotment account, 45,000 and 45,000. Because we have received applications for 15,000, we will allot 15,000 only. We are not going to allot them 20,000. In case of oversubscription, right, there we do pro rata allotment. That it means if you have applied for 50,000 shares, you are getting 40,000 shares. But if it is a case of undersubscription, then we are not going to allot more than what is subscribed. Clear? Then what will be share first call? Share first call account debit to share capital account. Right? How much? 15,000 shares multiplied by 3. Again 45,000 and 45,000. Then say you have received the first call also. Your journal entry will be bank account debit to share first call account. How much? 45,000. Clear, friends? So that means in case of undersubscription of shares, you will consider the shares that have been subscribed and not what is issued. Right? What is important here is that you have to consider the number of shares applied for and not the number of shares that are issued. Clear, friends? Right? Make a note of this, that in case of undersubscription of shares, consider shares applied for and allotted. Right? Shares issued will not be considered. Clear? So this is the case of undersubscription of shares when the shares issued are greater than the applications received. It is a very simple case, no complications as were there in oversubscription. We simply take whatever applications we have received. Whatever is the application money that we have received, we will take it into account and then transfer that application money to share capital account. Clear? Clear, friends? So this is your undersubscription and oversubscription. This is the only part in undersubscription, nothing fancy in this, right? So we have completed with oversubscription. We are done with undersubscription. If you have any queries, just send me an email at ksjteaching@gmail.com, right? So in the next lecture, what we are going to do is, again, it's very small topic. In the next lecture we are going to do, that is preparation of cash account, preparation of cash book. Clear? So friends, I'll say this oversubscription topic is very, very, very important, because you are definitely going to get a question on pro rata allotment, right? So be very careful while dealing with the pro rata allotment. If you have any queries, just send me an email. I will clarify each and every point. I want your concepts to be clear. Your concept clarity is very important for the long run. You are not going to give the exams only, right? You are studying this not for the exam purpose, but for your future. This is very, very important. If your concepts at the base are clear, right, then you will not face any difficulty when you move on with your future. Clear? So that's all for this lecture, friends. Thank you so much.